to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Did you ride your bike in today? I'm hoping you
I
did.
did.
Yes,
I did. It's a little warm out there today, but
warm.
I don't live far from here, so it was kind of easy. We're in rehearsals for a tour now, so we've got a lot of rehearsals, so we've only done the first week.
We got a lot of shows. I mean, I looked at the tour. It is like
it's going to go for about a year.
Yeah, it's one of those tours where you get one laminate and it just says tour on it. It's not even like for different cities. It's just like one laminate. It's so many cities.
Yes.
You must be really excited about that. I mean, the last time that obviously you brought your album American Utopia, to life with the show, it was something very different. It was kind of a show, but it was also a show within a show within a show. And I'm sure that you're thinking extra creative about this as well. But just nice to be able to kind of reset the performance muscle.
Yep. I love singing. I love doing all that. I realize that some of it is kind of you got to get. There's a thing of can you move and sing at the same time, and can you do this, and can you do this?
Yeah.
So there's a kind of learning ramp there.
But you have some of the most choreographed, and way back to when I first heard of you and discovered you in your old band right through to today, there's one thing about can I bounce around the stage and entertain people? Can I reach the back? But you're thinking I've got to hit my beats here and here because there's so much going on to make the experience immersive. So it's super cerebral, right? It's not just physical.
Yeah, it does take a while to kind of get all that into your head and your body, but then once you do,
fun.
Then it's just fine.
So much fun. Yeah. Well, hopefully I'm going to be able to squeeze a little bit without giving too much away about what you're thinking visually about this album, but we won't get there unless we talk about it as a wonderful body of music.
Thank you.
It really is, and what a great group of people you brought together. Tom, who I know well, I actually saw you briefly at a party some months ago with Tom, but it was very brief. I won't remember. But he's just a beautiful man, and
he's going to be here in a couple of weeks.
In a couple of weeks' time. To just kind of take a look at rehearsals and make sure the music feels right. I mean,
No, I think he's here for something else. I think it's probably another project, another artist probably. But he said, I'm going to be in town. Let's get together.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. He's an incredible producer. It can start and stop right there. But were there other reasons why you were drawn to wanting to work with him?
I heard the work he'd done with other artists. Mm-hmm. Those records sound great. Mm-hmm. And I knew some of those artists. I'd joined Maggie Rogers on stage at one of her shows, and had same thing. I'd done the same thing with Miley Cyrus, so I could reach out to them and say, "Yeah, you've worked with this guy.
What's the real?
Was it a good experience?" Yeah, and they all said, "Yeah, he's great."
Yeah, how important is that personality thing to you? Because obviously, it's you can work with people who have a great ear, who can bring out something special in the music that you want to make, but you want to be able to sit in a room with them and, it not be fractious. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. And they're also, it's not just the relationship with me, it's the relationship with all the other musicians and the technical people and all of that kind of thing. This person has to be more of a therapist or psychiatrist or whatever than I could ever be. This person is kind of having a problem with this. I have to kind of talk through this with them or see how that works. There's a lot of psychology that they learn that is beyond just the kind of technically making things sound good.
You've got to be kind of like a confidence person in a weird way because, you've got people around you who, to your point, only want to deliver. Like when the orchestra came together and you decided to work with them as well and to make them the kind of overarching background band for you along with Tom and a few other people, really great musicians, they want to deliver. They want to know that their work on this album is it the best it can possibly be.
Exactly.
But that comes with a pressure, right? And you must see that often with people where you just want them to understand it's okay, it's just music, it's just notes, but they're like, I can't get it, David. I can't get it.
Yes, they want to make sure that their work shines. They want it to be the best it can be.
Yep.
They want to be assured that they're in good hands.
Yeah.
That they're being heard and appreciated, and that that work will happen, and it did.
All of life is humanity is lots of paradox, right? So what is the studio like for you?
I think working with someone like Tom, it comes with a fair amount of trust. You trust that he's going to get a good sound on this instrument or the drums or whatever it might be. I don't have to like micromanage things. In the past, I might have done that a bit more, like, oh, can I hear that? Can I hear that? Can I check that? Can I? I thought, no. Let it go a little bit. Let it go. I've become a lot more relaxed. There's still a lot of work to do, but I've become more relaxed about it and less of a little dictator about it has to be this way, it has to be that way. And it ends up kind of going that way anyway.
I was going to say, I wonder if you hear the difference. I wonder if you ever catch yourself, listening to, even just by chance, because something's playing in the background, a piece of music that you made, perhaps with Byrne, perhaps with Fatboy Slim, perhaps with Talking Heads, perhaps when you were in that space where you were a little more controlling, at least from sort of like, I've got the sound, let me just get in there, I can figure it out. Versus now, and whether you hear any difference at all to some degree.
I don't know if I hear difference, but the process now is sometimes a lot more pleasant.
When did you feel that you were starting to relax into this a little more and you were able to trust the process a bit more and enjoy different parts of the creative process?
Fairly recently. It might have been, I don't know, recent for me, maybe 10 years ago, something like that. I started to feel like, if I can communicate well and make sure that we're all on the same page, we're all going down the same road and heading in the same direction, then I don't have to micromanage things because we're all trying to achieve the same thing.
Yeah.
And it becomes a lot more pleasant.
Yeah, and that's how we get wonderful experiences like American Utopia and whatever we're going to see and experience in the future, which is allowing people into your process to bring their best. And that must have been wonderful for you. And we're going to catch up to the album in a second. But to me, this album, to some degree, has to start somewhere, and it starts at the end of the last thing, I suppose, in some way. It must have been nice to draw that to a close. And to your point, not only know the steps and know what it is you need to do on the night, but maybe to be able to enjoy it and take a look at everyone performing around you and be like, this is fun. This is a fun thing to be a part of.
Certainly the performance aspect, what we worked out then with the entire band mobile and untethered and all that, I thought, I'm not ready to give that up.
Yeah.
That was a big step, and what it achieved things that I didn't expect, that I didn't intend, but ended up being really good. For example, I knew it meant we could move and make formations and do all this kind of thing. But what it also did was it kind of democratized the whole stage thing. It meant that there were moments where the drummers got to be in the front, and drummers are usually way in the back. Yeah. And so everybody gets to be appreciated at various points. Yeah. And I thought, and they obviously get that, but the audience gets that too.
Because we forget that the audience actually, we don't often acknowledge this, but we kind of go see our favorite artists, and if they're bands and whatnot, I'm kind of a drummer guy. And I'm sort of a bass player person, and I'm sort of a guitar person. It's a little bit of that leaning in, so it's lovely to be able to kind of be super served as an audience member as well.
Yeah, they get to kind of meet everyone. Everyone gets to kind of come forward downstage, and they get to know each person as a personality, as a player, and see how they all work together.
Yeah, so beautiful to have touched so many different points as as a project, as a new piece of work. A lot of times when people come to artists now and they say, hey, I want to do something long form, or I want to do something around this, or I want to build this into more, it has a sort of retro thing or a sort of rewriting history thing, or we'll connect the old with the new and we'll sort of make it. And it must have been so rewarding for someone who doesn't really like to look back that much from previous conversation we've had once, to know that people wanted to invest in something that was now.
I feel like I'm been incredibly lucky where I can kind of experiment with these things, like what a stage show might be, experiment musically, try something that's different than what I did before. And sometimes it works really well. Sometimes it works okay. So I feel like, I'm really, I think, very lucky that I've been able to do that. And that the audience or listeners or whatever kind of give me a shot. They'll follow, and they might not like it all, but they kind of appreciate that, okay, let's see what's up.
So let's talk about that difference between it works versus your version of it's okay, and the idea of what a result is. Because when you're creating something, you can't predict the result. You can't predict if people are going to understand it, or if it's going to need grace and time to find its place and its audience, and that can happen too. So how do you sort of define success now, if you even refer to that term? Is it just the completion, the execution of something? Do you like to watch it grow and measure that as well? Like, how do you do it?
Well, I suppose the real measure of success for me comes from if it feels right to me and to my friends, people I'm around, maybe some other musicians that I know. And then, you never know how it's going to be received by a larger public, by an audience, a live audience, a listening audience. You just never know. You never know. I mean, it could sound great, and people just go, "It's just not what we're into right now," or you have no idea.
Yeah.
But if I get to a point where I like it, my friends like it, I go, okay, if it doesn't succeed, whatever, financially, I could be in for a bit of a loss. That's happened before, but okay, live and learn, just keep going.
On to the next.
Yeah.
Who's the most honest person in your life when it comes to playing music to? Who's going to give it to you really straight?
Wow, that's a good question. I don't know yet. I feel like everybody's got their own set of biases or values or what they like.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like they're comparing you to what they liked from your last record or something else, and it's like, I really liked that. How does this compare? That kind of thing. So
yeah. Comparison is tough on artists. It's really tough.
Yeah.
And it gets back to the idea of what success is, because you're never entirely sure when something's going to be successful. I think back to like the success that you've had throughout your life. You've never compromised your creative vision. I don't think you've ever really made a grand statement of like, pop, we're going to go this way. Even some of the poppiest moments are just beautifully weird. And it must have caught you off guard at times throughout your life as well, to know that, I mean, especially, and we're not going to stay there, but especially with something like Talking Heads, when you're like, how are we an arena band? We are an interesting band. We're a strange band.
How did that happen?
How did that happen? Did you ever sort of find yourself asking yourself that question at times?
Oh, absolutely. I found it a little bit when Talking Heads started getting very popular, and we were playing arenas and sometimes like co-headlining or whatever at stadiums or something like that. I thought, this is kind of lovely that we've achieved this success, but I also feel like we could start to like this a little too much.
Yeah.
It could confine us and restrict.
And what was that feeling like, if you can remember? Like, what was that anxiety rooted in? Was it rooted in a sense of like, will you tell me, was it losing control of what you loved about the experience versus what people wanted from the experience, perhaps, as an example?
For me, it was when I started playing, I mean, like obviously the same thing happens when you're playing a festival or something like that. It becomes just this sea of people. You have to get into another headspace to be able to connect.
Yeah, it's more performative.
Yeah, as opposed to playing in a theater or someplace else that can still be quite big. But you can feel kind of a connection with people, and that you're actually kind of, I'm a person, you're a person. But then when it turns into this mass thing, it's a very different thing.
Yeah, and connection is crucial to the music that you've made throughout my life in any capacity, and certainly on this record, a deep, deep yearning for connection and to tell stories, a lot of relationships. You know, I feel you're expressing yourself through those, and I'm getting to express my relationships through those as well, which is the beautiful trait of it all. So let's talk a little bit about Who Is This Guy and where this album came from. I'd love to get a little bit of a timeline from you, from sort of American Utopia to the beginning of this record. I think you were cooking, you said, doing some work in the kitchen.
During the pandemic, yes.
Yeah, and just kind of like living some life. And when did music start to kind of present itself again as a means of inspiration?
Wow. Okay, so the American Utopia, that was my last album.
Mm-hmm.
It had an extraordinarily long life or cycle or whatever.
That would still be going now if you hadn't called
Probably yes, if I didn't pull the plug.
Yeah.
And I mean, we had a record and then a tour, and then there was a little gap when we heard that, there's people interested in bringing this to Broadway, and I thought, that could be a nice challenge.
Yeah.
We'd have to change it to make it work in that context
and
for
you
that
get to
audience.
ride to work every day, and you're home by 7. It's perfect.
Yes, that part is really great. You just kind of ride my bike to work and do the show. And
Whoever decided artists should go on at 9 p.m. and that is the industry standard was an idiot. No, I don't know any artist who's happy finishing at 11:30. They want to be in bed by 10 p.m.
Yeah. So that part was good. Then COVID hit. And like a lot of other people, we thought, this is like a flu or cold or whatever. We'll isolate, be a few weeks. We'll be back on stage.
No.
2 years pass.
Yeah.
And then we went back. So the album, whatever, performing cycle is still going on with this kind of 2-year gap in the middle of it. Anyway, during the pandemic, of course, I wanted to write new songs, but I felt like what was happening was bigger than anything I could write about, and I didn't quite know how to address it.
It's interesting. So the scale of the problem, of the trauma that the globe was feeling at the time, we were all feeling in our own way, kind of ate away at the micro, the detail required to tell a story and write a song.
Exactly.
Wow.
Now, some things did emerge eventually that in looking back, were obviously kind of a COVID-related things. During COVID, I tried to write a song called 6 Feet Away, where I kind of encountered someone that I really wanted to get to know, but you couldn't get any closer than 6 feet.
Yeah.
This person had a mask on.
Yeah. The first interview I did back after quarantine was with Alicia Keys, and she was sitting way over there, and I was sitting way over here in another room, and that's as close as we got the entire time, and they edited it.
So you looked like you were closer?
But not that close, because everyone would have been like, you broke the rules. So it was such a strange time. It was like, how do we walk this line? Strange. That's a beautiful idea. Did you finish that song?
No, I wrote the lyrics. I sent them to John Mulaney.
Yeah.
And because I'd worked with him a little bit. And he said, I really like this line of... she's got Perel in her purse. But I also realized...
That's so literal.
Yes.
It's so literal.
I also realized this thing that's happening is no joke.
It's no joke. But also this could be a PSA if I'm not careful. It's like it turns into like some kind of...
But I thought, you're kind of treating it very kind of lightly. You're doing okay. I'm in my apartment, going for... cooking and going for bike rides with bandmates and friends. But I thought, nope. But then after all that, after kind of emerged out of that, I realized that some of these new songs are coming out of that. There's a song called My Apartment Is My Friend.
I was wondering if that came pretty quick.
I thought, that's got to be...
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time by myself in my apartment.
Yeah.
And kind of realized, whatever, this physical space is supporting me.
Yeah.
I know where things are. Comfortable just cooking in here.
It's so perfect.
Reading.
It's not even really a metaphor.
Yes, no, it's all
actually true.
It's all true. This is kind of keeping me kind of physically and psychologically alive, surviving.
Yeah.
I'm lucky that although I'm a musician, I kind of had income trickling in. But I know for a lot of musicians, it's like, whoa, how do we get through this? Where's our livelihood coming from?
Yeah. I'd really hoped that was going to alter I'm sure you've heard this before when people who don't really understand the way that the arts are framed and from a financial point of view, that it's always like, because they see you on TV or they see you on a stage, you see rolling in money, this idea that musicians just roll in unlimited amounts of cash. And you're laughing and I'm laughing because we know that's not the case, right? We know that, and I wish it was, but it's not. I hope that quarantine had kind of set people straight a little bit on that, because it was a really tough time for the arts. It was a tough time for everybody, but I mean, that tap got turned off. No shows, no income for a lot of people.
There was, I think there was financial, like government support for Broadway, which helped them kind of come back. I mean, because they still had to keep the theaters not open during COVID, but
but they can't close. Let's put it that way.
You can't close forever.
Yeah, you can't shutter those doors.
Yeah. So there was that. There were initiatives that helped small club owners, people like that who were really hurting. I mean, they still had to pay rent.
Yeah.
And they had no income.
Yeah, it was a tough time. The storytelling has always been at the forefront of your music in a most beautiful way, but there's just some beautiful stories on this album, and it starts with just a very simple kind of tale about the complexity of some of the most simple emotions that we have in our life, right? The idea of laughter and crying and these things that we do at birth almost immediately as little things. But boy, do they get complex as you get older. What do you laugh about? Where do you find the tears when you really need them? Where did that song come from?
As you said, yes, it started as a list. I realized, I can just list things. I can list kind of opposites: laughing, crying, living, dying, eating, dancing, all the things that we do, the good and the bad. We're made up of all this. We do all of these things. Who we are, what we are, all of that, and put it all together, and it becomes a celebration, even though there's a lot of contradictions in there.
That's the change that you talk about as it breaks away into something that's a little more familiar and repeats itself. That's the idea of the change. Everyone's changing at all times.
Yeah.
You've seen this city change, and you're on the bike if you're not on the stage, if you're not creating, so you're observing a lot. What does modern life look like to you as someone who's been on the forefront of that for a long time, looking for ways to innovate? And what does it feel like now?
I was talking about kind of music stuff with this artist that I worked with, Haley Williams, yesterday. And she was asking me, what do you say to people who feel like, music's not as good as it used to be, or there's not as much good music as there, whatever, things like that. And I said, I think that is so wrong. And I understand that people have jobs and kids and bills to pay and do all kinds of other things they may not have time to.
And I'm checking out a Bon Jovi. So I'll see you at the end of my life, but that's where I'm checking out.
Yes, it could be that.
Yeah.
And I said, totally fine. If that what makes you feel good, if that's working for you, no problem. But that doesn't mean there isn't great stuff happening now.
Yeah.
And we agreed that there were lots and lots of great music happening now. And that got away from your question, though.
No, it's cool. But I'm glad you brought up Haley as well, because I know Haley pretty well, and we've talked about that subject too. But we also, I think sometimes whenever we chat, sort of take a look around at the world that we're in, and we know that we're a part of it and we're active. But at the same time, sometimes I feel confused by what I'm actually being a part of, what I'm building, what role I'm playing in all of this. I'm like, whoa, are we losing our way a little bit here? The idea of community, and there's so much that you've observed about. There's a lot of listening on this record. Like, I would like to listen to what she has to say. I would like to listen to what the people are doing around me. Does that make sense?
It does make a lot of sense. On the positive side, I think musicians now have the ability to kind of control what their music sounds like. They don't have to take out a big loan from a record company or whatever, unless they want to, but to make music that sounds the way they want it to sound. That's a really good thing. Getting it out to the public and marketing it and all that kind of thing, that's where they need some help and some financial muscle on this and that.
Yeah.
It's still hard to survive as a musician, especially with kind of rents as high as they are.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
home ownership being something that seems like, sort of unattainable for an emerging musician.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be. They should be like, no, that's part of growing up and whatever. You do that. And it should be possible.
It's something that I'm very acutely aware of because a lot of my favorite artists have to make decisions, I think, sometimes that they don't always 100% want to make. So it's like, and we all have to compromise in life. That is just part of life. Like no one's going to go through and be able to just cherry pick whatever they want to do all the time. But I do feel like it's getting more common now, I think, for musicians to feel compelled to do things that aren't even necessarily they come that naturally. Like the idea of self-promotion seems great on paper. Control your marketing campaign. But when you started making music, would you have been ready in the social media age to be like, hi, I'm David Byrne, and our new album, Talking Head. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's different.
I found that, and I still do that occasionally, and I find it a little bit, okay, up to a point.
Yeah.
There are artists who are very, very adept at social media, at having lots of followers and all that kind of thing. I'm not that involved in that. I hope that it kind of works, that the music speaks for itself and we can get it out somehow. Yes, so I feel like one of the challenges that musicians and creative people face now is, I guess, what's sometimes called kind of the atomization, the kind of isolation of the public. That they're connected via social media or they're connected via their screens or whatever, and the fact that when they actually get together is more rare than it used to be.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
But
yeah.
going to hear live music or going to hear a concert, music, it does bring people together. People know that.
Special. When you get to work with someone like Hayley, who is obviously a huge fan of you, and now it's safe to say you're a fan of hers because, I mean, you included her in this album. The song is beautiful and wonderful, wonderful. But what's it like when you sort of, when it goes from sort of a mutual appreciation society into an actual collaborative experience and making sure the collaboration is front and center and that any idea that Hayley may have of working with you isn't really present. It's like to stay in the moment. Like, how do you get people into being present when it comes to working with you when you've done so much for us as a musician already?
Wow, it really just gets down to nuts and bolts. Kind of sounds kind of boring.
No.
But like, okay, we're going to sing on this record, sing on this song. Yes. This is going to be fun. Okay, which lines do you take? How do we break it down? Do you want to sing harmony here? Do I sing a verse here and then you sing a verse here? And all that kind of stuff. It's, in a way, put the emotions aside and just figure out the kind of nuts and bolts and how it works. And then when you start to do it, then the feeling comes out.
How was the experience of making that song with her?
It was great. It was unexpected. I heard her sing in a voice that I hadn't heard her.
She's chameleonic vocally for sure.
Yeah, and I hadn't heard that on like the Paramore records.
Yeah.
Hardly ever, yeah.
Yeah. Did you like the Paramore's cover of Burn Down the House?
Yeah, it was
great. It was a riot, right?
It was great.
Yeah, it's really cool. Some other great collaborators on this record. How do you go about choosing them? Is it what the song needs? Is it kind of who you're friends with? Like, like obviously St. Vincent you've worked with before, so that's probably a pretty easy phone call to make.
It was an easy phone call to make. Annie lives.
She's like 30 seconds away from where you.
Yeah, she was like 2 minutes away from the studio where I was in
pajamas. So like, she's like, "What do you need?"
Yeah, do you want to come over? Yeah.
You want a cup of sugar?
Yes, it's kind of like someone you feel comfortable doing that. So it's not something, say, engineered by a record label or publicity or anything like that. Like, oh, David, we got to get some features on your record or anything like that. I've learned that doing that doesn't always have the kind of expansive effect that people think it might have.
Yeah, people can smell it. I think if it's a trade for a trade's sake, if it's like your audience v my audience, let's come together. I think people are pretty hip to that now.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's got to be meaningful.
But if it feels like, okay, it feels like it's real, and
Yeah.
you guys, oh, we're just friends, and let's do this. And I also just thought, oh, let's give people a little break from my voice, of hearing my voice all the time.
Yeah, what's your relationship like with your voice? You have one of the most unique voices of my lifetime of love and music. And how has it changed over the years?
Yeah, my voice sounds different now.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can still do the old voice, but now I have more things I can do, and, which is
Do you like your voice?
yeah. I'm used to it. I don't hear it as being very unique. So I just hear it as being that's me singing.
Yeah, it's unique, and it's you know if it is in the most beautiful way. I mean, if I may, as a fan, the way I think I have described this to my friends when we've talked about you, that you have this beautiful way of making things sound innocent and playful and like life has possibility, but never at the sacrifice of emotion.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a deeper emotion inside of it. It's a wonderful balance when you sing between like it's fun, but it also might hurt.
Yes.
Does that ring true to some degree?
It does. And sometimes it all comes together better than others. The other day we were rehearsing something, and one of the singers said, "What happens if we cry in the middle of the song?"
Oh, wow. What a great question. Well, there's only one answer to that.
Yeah, it's just like, you just got to push through, because I know it has happened to me, where suddenly this emotional thing will well up and it'll be like,
When did that?
I can't get the note out.
Can you remember when that happened to you?
It happens fairly regularly, and not always in the same place.
Yeah.
Not always in the same place, not always in the same song.
Does it surprise you? Does it catch you off
Yeah,
guard?
yeah, it catches you off guard. It's like one line suddenly connects to something in your life or something, and you go, oh my God, I know what that's about. I didn't know that when I wrote it. Now I know what it's about.
Oh my God, a moment of clarity in front of 5,000 people.
Yes. Oh, and then I'm thinking to myself, do they realize that I'm having an emotional moment, or do they just think, ooh, he's having a little trouble with his voice?
There must be times when you're writing a piece of music and you become overwhelmed because you realize it's unlocking something in you that, to your point, you didn't realize was there.
Yes, it does it. And sometimes you don't know. You can't predict it. Sometimes you can't make it happen, but it happens pretty reliably.
Is there a song on this album that falls into that category for you?
There's one called I Met the Buddha at a Downtown Party.
I love that song.
And the chorus is just this do-do-do, just singing kind of wordless things. But this is not kind of a tearful moment, but it's a moment where you feel like, oh, just this do-do-do-do-do expresses the joy that is about to be revealed in the story, in the lyrics. It is expressed kind of wordlessly. And I think there's another song called A Door Called No.
Oh, yeah.
That starts off with someone being a kind of an outsider, being rejected, being told, no, you can't come in, you can't come in. Then a relationship happens and the whole worldview changes.
There is this relationship that you present on this album that feels like it's been transformative for you. And not to go mining into your personal life, but the idea of being able to write about that and reflect on that, the she that shows up in these moments of clarity, you know what I mean? Based on reality, I'm sure. How has it been for you to write about that side of your life at this point in your life?
It's been fine for me. It's not always 100% fine for her.
But this is the horse she rode in on. Yes. It's not like she didn't know what you do.
Yes. I mean, I think even this morning she said, oh, You have this song about this person who's just like explaining things to you.
I love that song though, because it's so true. It's so true. My wife is just like, you know, one of the most overworked phrases in my life is like, I already told you that 6 months ago. Do you even listen to what I tell you?
Exactly.
I love that. I love that. I mean, that's a beautiful place to be, where you find someone who respects the process but also keeps you honest.
Yes.
Right. That's wonderful. Can I tell you one of my favorite lines in the album, which is
Sure.
a playful one, which is, you take us on this whole journey about celebrating the avant-garde. If you ask anybody who's a David Byrne fan, they will say that you walk the line between success and avant-garde, and that you're a beautiful example of that combination of pushing boundaries, and we want to come along for the ride. And I'm like, great, he's acknowledging it. And then at the very end, you're like, it doesn't mean shit. And it made me laugh out loud like a punchline in a joke. I just want to get granular for a second and talk to you about that particular line and how you felt when you wrote it, because you must have laughed. You've just teed this thing up as being this holy grail, and then at the end it's like, well, what does it really mean?
Yeah. I'm self-aware enough to realize that I'm viewed as being kind of somewhat card-carrying member
Of the avant-garde.
avant-garde.
Yeah.
But I also have this belief that it's possible to do kind of sort of radical or new things or whatever,
Yeah.
and still make a pop song.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a formula. You can do something new in that kind of format and can still appeal to people.
Yeah.
I think there's not an absolute contradiction there. Having done those things, and experienced them, and I love that world. I know it's a world of where I'll go to see something, and it could be incredible. It could be something that blows my mind, and I go, that completely makes me rethink what performance or theater or how music could be performed. Changes the way I think about it. It could also be something where I go, that needed a little bit more work.
Fuck was that?
Yes. But that's the risk you take.
Yeah.
If you want the thing that's going to blow your mind, you have to go, sometimes you're going to see things that are really doesn't mean shit. That is not so good.
Does anyone who's a card-carrying member of the avant-garde really ever take a look at each other and say, welcome to the avant-garde? Isn't it kind of the whole purpose?
It's ridiculous.
Isn't it ridiculous? Isn't the whole idea of being avant-garde to deny the idea of being avant-garde?
Exactly. You have to say, no. We are not concerned
But then you
with
get
such
together
things.
with your avant-garde Illuminati and go, but we really are avant-garde, right?
Yes.
High fives.
Yes,
We're
yes.
the avant-garde. It's so funny. It made me laugh so much. Okay. We have spoken a few times, and I feel like you know where my heart is, you know who I am, and you know that I'm a fan.
Thank you.
So I feel comfortable being able to go here for a couple of minutes and say, you know, do you, when you decide with Talking Heads Inc. to say, hey, something's going on over here in the camp, could be a new video for a song, which was wonderful masterstroke, by the way, you know, right on time, dare I say, for that video. Do you sit back and go, wow? I mean, do you acknowledge the reaction? Because millions of us hold that music so dear to our life. We listen to those records all the time. And I want to reassure you, it's not in a retrospective way.
Mm.
We listen to them because they matter today, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, oh, I got to go back and listen to something that makes me feel like I was when I was a kid. I need to listen to Remain in Light now because I want to walk around New York and listen to it now. So what is your relationship like with that as someone who I acknowledge wants to move forward, wants to make new shows, do new albums, and yet we really care. We care about both.
Yes. Okay. I'm proud of what we did. I'm very pleasantly surprised that it seems to be holding up, that people still find it relevant.
Yeah.
I think it goes back to what we were saying just a minute ago, that we kind of managed to do the thing where we were experimenting and trying new things, but still remaining accessible enough that we're obviously cared that we weren't like pushing people away. We did want people to listen.
Yeah.
And we walked that line, and we found that balance from time to time. I think people appreciate that. So I thought, wow, this is kind of amazing.
Yeah.
In fact, I think like some of those older records are now being re-released with like all this extra stuff, things like that, which is kind of wonderful. I think even for me, sometimes it's more extra stuff than I could possibly deal with.
Yeah.
But but it's there. It's
But
there.
you're honoring the music. The music wants to live. So why would I deny that?
Why would you deny it? And it's there. People want to hear it. It's there.
This constant chatter about shows. You know, I can frame this pretty easily, I think. Maybe 10 years ago, there was a list of 200 artists, bands, that we wanted to reform. And one by one, everyone's kind of got back together.
Wow, really?
Oh, yeah. I remember when it was like Soundgarden, God rest his soul, but, I'd love to see them again. They came back. Even Oasis recently. It's never going to happen. Yeah, it is. I was at the show the other night. Amazing, right? Amazing. So varying degrees of success on that level and varying reasons why that would happen. There's very few artists now, the White Stripes, yourselves, the Smiths, there's a few others that have not made that decision to come together and play shows.
Johnny Marr and Morrissey are not going to get.
I know it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
I said this the other day at Wembley Stadium. A friend of mine said to me, "What can you do to get the Smiths back together?" I was like, "Enjoy this moment right here, because no one's getting the Smiths back together." Right? Much as I would love to see it. I would love to see Talking Heads play again, and I'm not asking you to confirm or deny or even go into that. Just how does it make you feel when you're never too far away from people wanting that to happen? It comes from a good place.
Yeah, it does come from a good place. It comes from a place of people loving the music and finding that they've internalized it. It's part of their life.
It's our DNA now.
Yeah, it's part of their life. And they want to go, can I enjoy that again? Or if I missed it the first time, can I have it now?
Yeah, that's
and
me.
I feel like, whoa, it's sometimes that kind of works. Sometimes it kind of doesn't as much. I mean, Stop Making Sense was released a few years ago, and I'm looking at it for the first time when we were preparing it. I'm watching it and going, what a strange guy. And he seems really intent, very serious. Loosen up, Dave. Loosen up a little bit. And I realize this guy is, I'm not that guy anymore.
Yeah.
I can't go back and be that person.
But I'm not
I can certainly perform those songs, and I still do perform some of those songs, but I can't go back and
I think people just
that
want the
person.
celebration. I don't think people want the Xerox of Stop Making. We have that.
Yeah, you have that.
We have that. That exists and it belongs. I think you summed it up beautifully. I think people want to enjoy themselves. It's really simple.
Uh-huh.
And when you create a hierarchy in your life of what's going to make me happy, I want to go home and see my mum this summer. Great, go do that. I'd love to see Talking Heads. Less likely.
Yeah.
It kind of goes on people's lists, and that's a short list of things. Yeah.
Well, certainly right now I'm kind of involved in
Understandably
working on this stuff.
I would love to talk a little bit more about preparation you're putting into without revealing too much about this show. And thank you for answering my Talking Heads questions.
Oh, sure.
I really appreciate
it.
Let's just talk about the preparation going into it. And perhaps I can ask this. Is it going to be a show that feels as immersive and expansive as American Utopia, or at least became? Or is this just more of like, I want to go play right now I want to keep it simple. I want to play this album live, and I kind of want to just do a show.
I think I boxed myself into a corner in a way with the last show, and then went to the Broadway version and all that, and I go,
yeah.
I don't think, I'm not quite ready to kind of rewind the clock and go, oh, let's go back to something really simple.
Yeah.
Simple, kind of basic, we'll just get up and play.
Yeah.
I thought, no, we have to kind of build on that. So I thought, I'm keeping the kind of untethered, everyone can move around thing.
Amazing.
Got rid of the chain. We had this kind of box made with a chain, but now we have kind of these screens that go around that will put us in, I hope, in different places, as opposed to us, but it'll still be kind of us in the middle. I remember, we have more dancers, more a great band, lots of singers. I think musically it's going to sound great. I realized that show evolved over time.
Yeah.
I have to allow this one to do the same thing.
Give it space to grow.
Give it space to grow. Let it tell me what it wants to be. Let it tell me what it's about. I realized that with that show, I realized it revealed itself. It revealed that it had a kind of story, a kind of arc, and I thought, okay, if you can bring that out a little bit more, and I think the audience will get that we're actually going on a kind of journey. And I thought, I don't know exactly what the journey is for this one yet.
Amazing.
But I have to trust that it'll tell me.
God, I love the idea. I love that you're able to restrain yourself from this desire for perfection and execution.
It's I'm being honest, it's really hard. You want to go in and go, oh, here's what it's to do. Here's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm going to say. Here's what it's going to be about. And I go, that's kind of trying to squeeze it into some preconceived thing.
This is where I see the friendship between you and Brian Eno really aligned. Because having spent some time with him now and realizing that he's very dedicated to that idea of giving things grace to grow. Start with what you like and see where it goes from there. For me, that's been a profound collaboration in the times that you've connected and has given birth to great innovation. I don't think even the times when you leaned into the ambient space with him and created just wonderful, I love that. I love all of that kind of music. It makes me feel something without telling me something necessarily in a human way.
Many, many years ago, he encouraged me and Talking Heads to create songs without knowing where they're going to go. You don't have to have it all written out ahead of time. You can do part of it and then build on that and build on that and then take it away, come back, think about it, write words to music that without the words being first, there's all sorts of things you can do. That was a kind of a learning curve. Yeah.
He's a deconstructionalist in a lot of ways, isn't he? He loves to take and bring and move and shift and just see what different sides are. Like, obviously, you've seen his ambient music generator randomizer.
Yes.
I said to him when he showed me that, I was like, how much original music can this thing make? He said, well, in theory, it will probably make something new and unique every time for the rest of time.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, this is the greatest play for immortality I've ever heard in my entire life. Long after we've all moved on, the only one still making original music will be Brian Eno. I can't wait to see the show. And I'm really, David, I love this album so much.
Thank you.
I think that it's the most beautiful writing. She explains things to me. I know it drives your partner up the wall. I think it's a wonderful song. I love when we are singing the idea of truth and the idea of who we really are and expressing ourselves. And I guess I have one more question for you, which is, do you think your power of observation is probably the thing that's the most important to you? This idea of being able to see things like that, the idea of a door that says no on it, only to find the key that unlocks it to a yes.
I would like to think that my powers of observation are not extraordinary, but what I've learned to do is write it down. When you have that insight or you see that thing and you go, oh, that's a metaphor for something, or that's what that person just said, that's a great phrase. I can use that. Write it down. Don't just say, oh, that was great, because you'll forget it.
Yeah. I've loved this conversation. Thank you for spending an hour with me, David. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Good to see you again.
You too.